Have you ever noticed how a single word from a stranger can ruin your entire day? You're doing fine. Your morning is calm. Your coffee's still warm. And then a driver cuts you off. A coworker makes a snide remark. A family member raises their voice. And just like that, your peace is gone. But here's the real question. Who took it from you? Was it them, or was it you who gave it away? We often believe we are in control of our time, our schedule, our mood. Yet the truth is far more humbling. We are not disturbed by events. We are disturbed by our judgments about those events. Epictetus said that, and he was right. You see, the world is full of noise. People are emotional, irrational, chaotic. You cannot stop that. But you can stop yourself from becoming like them. This is not about suppressing anger. It is about rising above it. Because the moment you react, you've already lost. In this video, we'll go deep into how to never let anyone control your emotions again. How to stay calm, unbothered, and strong, even when the world tries to shake you. This is not just a mindset. It's a way of life. It's Stoicism. Part 1. The root of anger is an illusion. Anger feels real. It burns hot in the chest. It tightens your jaw. It fuels your words with fire. But if you step back just for a moment, you'll see something strange. Anger is not caused by what happened. It's caused by what you think happened. Every feeling of rage begins with a story. You tell yourself, they disrespected me. They shouldn't have said that. They crossed a line. But who wrote that story? You did. And if you can change the story, you can dissolve the anger. Marcus Aurelius saw this clearly. In his quiet reflections, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't speaking to monks on a mountaintop. He was a Roman emperor, constantly surrounded by betrayal, war, and pressure. If he could remain calm, so can you. So what causes anger, really? Not the event, not the insult, not the rudeness. What causes anger is expectation, the illusion that others should behave the way we want. You expect others to be kind. You expect life to be fair. You expect people to know better, do better, speak better. But when they don't, you suffer. And whose fault is that? Not theirs. It's the fault of the illusion you built in your mind. The Stoics taught this radical idea. Nothing that happens is inherently bad. It is only your opinion that makes it so. You are not angry because of what someone did. You are angry because you believed they should not have done it. Let that sink in. Because once you see that anger is optional, it loses its grip. You realize the storm was never outside of you. It was always inside. Reframing is your superpower. Instead of seeing disrespect, see insecurity. Instead of seeing betrayal, see weakness. Instead of seeing an attack, see a person in pain. When you stop personalizing every offense, you start to rise above it. Seneca, another great Stoic, warned about this. He said, "Anger is like temporary madness. It takes over fast, blinds us, makes us lose control. But here's the cure. Detach. Observe. Question the story. Is this really about you? Or is this person just acting out their own inner struggle? When someone lashes out, it's not about you. It's about what's going on inside them. Their emotions, their upbringing, their stress. Once you see that, you stop taking it personally. Here's the truth most people never realize. You can't control others. You can't control traffic, delays, insults, or outcomes. But you can control how you interpret those things. And interpretation is everything. So the next time you feel that heat rising, pause. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself right now? And then ask, is that story worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, it's not. Anger thrives on illusion. But peace is built on clarity. And clarity is what Stoicism gives you. Once you see the root of anger for what it really is, a trick of perception, you begin to walk a new path, a path where your emotions are no longer held hostage by the behavior of others. And that is the beginning of true strength. Part 2. Building a mental shield. Imagine carrying an invisible shield, not made of steel, not made of wood, but crafted from the strength of your mind. This shield is what the Stoics taught us to build, a protection against insults, failures, betrayals, and every arrow life might fire at you. You cannot stop the arrows. You cannot stop people from being rude. You cannot stop life from being unfair. But you can stop those arrows from piercing your peace. How do you build this shield? First, you train your mind to expect the unexpected. You remind yourself daily, today I will meet with interference, ingratitude, arrogance, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. Marcus Aurelius wrote those words not as pessimism, but as preparation. Preparation is power. When you expect storms, you are not surprised when they come. When you expect insults, they lose their sting. When you expect setbacks, you meet them with a calm heart. Building your mental shield means hardening your expectations. It means understanding that the world owes you nothing. No one owes you kindness. No one owes you fairness. No one owes you understanding. And yet, you can choose to give all these things to yourself. You can be kind without expecting kindness in return. You can be fair without needing fairness back. You can understand others without demanding to be understood. This is how you become untouchable, not because life stops being hard. Not because people suddenly become better, but because you no longer give them the power to shake you. Think of it like this. If someone throws mud at a stone wall, the wall does not scream. It does not get angry. It simply lets the mud fall. You must become like that wall, not cold, not distant, but immovable in your peace. Control your inner dialogue. When something happens, your first thought should not be, "How dare they?" It should be, "I knew this could happen. I prepared for it." Detach from the drama. See the situation, not the offense. See the facts, not the emotion. When someone attacks you with words, remember, words are just sounds. Only you can give them meaning. Strengthen your emotional immune system. Just like your body fights off viruses, your mind must fight off emotional attacks. Negativity, judgment, criticism, they are the germs of the soul. You do not need to invite them in. You do not need to let them make you sick. Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of the time, it is not the event that hurts. It is our reaction, our exaggeration, our replaying of it over and over again. Your shield is made of two things, preparation and perception. Prepare your mind for hardship. Perceive challenges as tests, not threats. Every slight, every insult, every setback is an opportunity to practice resilience, an opportunity to strengthen your shield. And over time, something beautiful happens. You stop seeing people as threats. You stop seeing events as personal attacks. You start seeing everything as a part of your training. Life becomes the gym. Every hardship, a weight to lift. Every insult, a chance to become stronger. You are not building walls to shut the world out. You are building a fortress within yourself, so that no matter what happens outside, you remain steady, clear, and unbroken. This is the power of a mind that has been fortified by wisdom, and it is available to you, starting right now. Part 3. Mastering the pause. There is a space, a small, quiet moment. It lives between what happens and how you respond. And in that space lies your freedom. That space is the pause, the moment between someone's insult and your reaction, the beat between frustration and explosion, the breath between emotion and expression. Most people never find that space. They get triggered, they react. No thinking, no reflection, just a wave of impulse crashing down. But you are not most people. You are here to master the pause. You are here to choose what happens next. Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the unthinkable, once wrote, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." That is what Stoicism teaches us. To insert reason before reaction. To slow down the rush of emotion long enough to decide, is this worth my peace? Is this who I want to be? Most anger is immediate. It's fast, it's blind, it rises without warning. But if you can interrupt it, just for a second, you reclaim control. How do you do it? First, breathe. When you feel the fire, pause, inhale, hold. Exhale. Let your body calm your mind. Second, name what you feel. I'm feeling insulted. I'm feeling disrespected. I'm feeling frustrated. Naming it weakens its hold. You are not the emotion. You are the observer of it. Third, ask yourself, what would the wise do here? Would Marcus Aurelius shout back? Would Seneca slam a door? Would Epictetus allow a fool to dictate his peace? The Stoics weren't passive. They were precise. They chose their actions with care. They knew that emotion is not weakness, but being ruled by it is. Mastering the pause is a discipline. You will fail, you will forget, you will react too quickly sometimes. But each time you practice, the pause grows longer. Each time you succeed, the space becomes yours. It's in this pause that you break cycles. Cycles of conflict, cycles of regret, cycles of pain passed from one person to the next. Someone has to be the one who doesn't react. Someone has to be the one who chooses peace over pride. Why not you? And here's the truth. The more you pause, the more powerful you become. Not louder, not harsher, but deeper, stronger, wiser. You realize that most things do not need a reaction. They need reflection. They need stillness. They need someone who is brave enough to be calm. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to defend your ego every time it's challenged. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone, because in that pause, you've already won. You've chosen your higher self over your lower instincts. You've answered insult with inner silence, and nothing is more powerful than that. The world may never notice the battles you do not fight, but your soul will. Your peace will. Your future will. This is what mastery looks like. Not the absence of emotion, but the ability to hold it, examine it, and then respond from wisdom, not impulse. That is how you become unshakable. That is how you master the pause. Part 4. Zooming out. From self to cosmos. You are not the center of the universe. And that is not an insult. It's a liberation. Because the moment you realize how small you are is the same moment your anger loses its grip. Anger thrives on importance. My opinion matters most. My time is sacred. How dare they speak to me like that? But zoom out just a little, and those stories begin to dissolve. Zoom out further. You are one person, in one city, on one planet, orbiting one star, in a galaxy of billions, in a universe beyond measure. Suddenly, that rude comment, it's not cosmic. It's not worth your peace. It's just a moment, a flicker, a ripple in time. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "All is ephemeral, fame and the famous as well." He saw the world not from a place of ego, but from a place of cosmic humility. And here's what that gives you: perspective. When someone cuts you off in traffic, zoom out. It's just a blip in your life story. When a coworker disrespects you, zoom out. You won't even remember this a year from now. The ego screams, "This matters." But the Stoic steps back and whispers, "Does it?" Because the more you zoom out, the smaller the problem becomes. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring about the right things, not about being right. Not about being praised, but about living in harmony with nature, with reason, with virtue. Zooming out is a form of clarity. You start to see patterns. You start to notice how often people act from pain, not malice. How often you've done the same. And suddenly, forgiveness is easier. Compassion comes naturally. You remember that everyone is fighting a battle. Most people carry wounds you cannot see. And when they lash out, it's not about you. It's about their own storm inside. So, let them rage. Let them speak. You zoom out. You float above it. You see the bigger picture. This is how the Stoic becomes untouchable. Not by building walls, but by expanding vision. Not by suppressing feelings, but by contextualizing them. Imagine looking at Earth from space. All the noise, the conflict, the petty drama. It disappears into blue and white stillness. That's what you carry within you. a cosmic view. A deep knowing that this moment is not everything, and that you are more than your reactions. So when anger knocks on your door, don't let it shrink your world. Expand your awareness. Zoom out. Look at the stars. Look at the centuries. Look at the tiny thread this moment is in the vast tapestry of life. And then ask yourself, will this still matter when I am dust? Will this insult echo beyond my breath? Will this feeling shape the cosmos? If not, then smile. And let it go. That is how you break free. Not by fighting fire with fire, but by floating above the flame and remembering you are stardust, passing through. Part 5. Cultivating inner peace. As a habit, inner peace is not an accident. It is not something you stumble upon one lucky morning. It is something you build, brick by brick, moment by moment. It is a daily decision, a chosen way of being. You do not wait for the world to be peaceful, because if you do, you will wait forever. People will remain difficult. Circumstances will stay messy. Life will always be unpredictable. The Stoics knew this deeply. That is why they trained their minds every day, not to depend on what is outside, but to fortify what is within. Cultivating inner peace begins with small practices, daily reflections, simple reminders, moments of silence. You carve out spaces in your day to return to yourself. Start your morning with intention. Before the noise of the world seeps in, sit quietly. Breathe deeply. Remind yourself, I will encounter selfishness. I will meet ignorance. I will face disrespect. But none of it will steal my peace unless I allow it. Train yourself to expect obstacles. When you anticipate challenges, they lose their power to shock you. You become a calm river, flowing around the rocks, not crashing against them. Practice gratitude relentlessly. Gratitude is the antidote to entitlement. It reminds you that nothing is owed to you. Not kindness, not fairness, not even understanding. When you live from gratitude, anger has no soil to grow in. Choose your response, not your reaction. A reaction is automatic. It is the punch of the ego. A response is thoughtful. It is the whisper of wisdom. Remember, peace is not passive. It is active. It is powerful. It takes strength to remain calm when everything around you is chaotic. Build rituals that anchor you. Whether it is journaling, meditation, prayer, or simply a daily walk, find practices that ground you in something bigger than the day's events. Reframe the world through the lens of acceptance. Acceptance does not mean agreement. It means recognizing reality without resistance. It is saying, this is happening. How will I choose to meet it? Forgive quickly. Release easily. Holding grudges weighs you down. Forgiveness is not a favor you do for others. It is a gift you give yourself. It is how you stay light. Talk to yourself as a friend would. When anger rises, be gentle with yourself. Notice it. Breathe through it. Guide yourself back to clarity. Inner peace becomes your default through practice. Not overnight. Not perfectly, but steadily. Each moment you choose calm over chaos, you carve a deeper path toward unshakable serenity. Epictetus said, Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. And what greater freedom is there than to not be a slave to anger? To walk through this world untouchable, rooted in the deep soil of your own soul. You do not control others. You control your response. And in that space between what happens and how you choose to meet it, that is where your true power lies. Cultivate inner peace until it becomes who you are. Until no offense can stick, no insult can wound, no chaos can shake you. You become the stillness in the eye of the storm. And that is not just stoicism, that is freedom. When no one can shake you, when you master your inner world, when you guard your peace like a sacred flame, something incredible happens. You become unshakable. It is not that the world grows kinder. It is not that people suddenly behave better. It is that you, standing firmly in your own mind, no longer depend on anything outside yourself to feel calm, strong, and whole. You realize that anger is not strength. It is a disturbance. It clouds judgment. It steals energy. True strength is quiet. It is measured. It is unmoved by insults and unaffected by chaos. Imagine living that way. Imagine walking through your life without the weight of resentment, without the sting of every careless word, without the heavy burden of needing others to act right for you to feel right. When no one can shake you, you are truly free. You are no longer a puppet tied to the strings of others' opinions, moods, or failures. You are a mountain, grounded, steady, majestic. And when storms come, and they will, you do not panic. You do not curse the sky. You simply endure, knowing that storms pass, but you, in your stillness, remain. This is the promise of Stoicism. Not a life without pain. Not a life without challenges. But a life where your soul stands sovereign, no matter what happens outside of you. Practice this daily. Reflect often. Strengthen your mind intentionally, and little by little, you will find that anger rarely visits you, and when it does, it leaves just as quickly. You will feel lighter, calmer, more powerful than ever, because your peace will no longer be at the mercy of the world. When no one can shake you, you do not just survive, you soar. And that is the true meaning of living free. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Stay grounded, stay free, and above all, stay unshakable.